Hopewell Farm CBD hemp products are naturally sourced from Tennessee. Their 100% pure hemp products are made from the finest non-GMO hemp. Each product is designed to provide natural healing, help you regain strength, and promote holistic health. Save 10% today with promo code JourneyToTruth10. Click the link below in the description for a discount or go to hopewellfarmtn.com. Hey guys, welcome to the show. We're just going to jump straight in today. We're going to skip all the advertisements. I've been looking forward to this interview. Someone recently just made me aware of Rock Cloud, and I started watching his videos on his channel, and it was resonating so deeply. I'm like, man, this guy's on point. I got to interview him. So we're going to just dive in and kind of unlock and break down the matrix today. So welcome to the show, Ra.
Yeah, welcome.
Happy to be here. Very, very happy to be here with you guys. I've been watching you guys not too long now. I just discovered you guys, but I've been watching your work, and it seems pretty good. I like what I see.
Likewise.
Awesome. Thank you. Likewise,
yeah,
yes.
I've been watching your videos, taking notes and writing stuff down. And I actually transcribed a small quote that you said in one of your videos, and I'm just going to read it, and then that's going to kick off the conversation because that's kind of where I want to go with this. You said the system has a set format and the decisions are played out in another realm because they cannot manifest in this reality. So they get us to manifest their will because we hold all the power. They can't manifest the way we can manifest, so they have to set up traps for us to fall in. And that's so true. And I haven't heard anyone really discuss the astral realm and this other reality like you do. It's since Max Spears. Max Spears used to talk about this a lot, but you're always sharing information on how this works and how these decisions are played out in another reality that affect our reality. So if you want to just kind of explain that to us, because I guess that would be describing the matrix and how it works. So maybe you can kind of help our audience understand how that works, and then we can go from there.
Okay. All right. Let me first begin with the astral realm. Now, the astral realm is just like here. There's the only thing different is that it mirrors a little bit different. It's a little bit offset as far as the atmosphere. It's a little bit darker, depending on where you go. And in order to navigate through the astral realm, some people may have guides. Some people may do it spontaneous because it's what they do. But as far as getting over there and doing certain things, it's just like here, nothing different. You're gonna have other entities that may be there and watch you from afar. But if you don't have the right ability to equip yourself with the knowledge, and all this is like when I go over there, I know that I travel like with my higher self, so I know that when I get there, I'm to see things, do things, and bring that information back for that is my mission here. So. Okay, now let's get into. You wanted to get into the traps of the matrix.
I guess if you want to just explain, yeah, some of these traps and how they set traps for us to fall into, and just kind of break down how this matrix works, and honestly how it's collapsing right now at the same time.
Okay, well, I'll go into what happened last time I was there in this other realm. Now, this realm is not the astral realm. This is just another realm that these entities work into. And what I mean by entities, there's all types of entities. These power elites, these pharaohs, people like George Soros. Well, his whole thing is, it's not Soros, it's pharaohs. He works for a certain amount of pharaohs. And when they go to these Bilderberg meetings, all of this stuff is held in another realm. And those decisions are there. They do all of their work in that realm. And they set up meetings on so many levels here. And what they do is make these decisions there and get us to manifest their will here, because they don't hold any manifestation power. They set up loopholes, traps. They align these human societies with contracts. Within those contracts, there are hidden money magic systems that they put this humans in these loopholes that we fall in. And even with meeting some of these guys, they have hidden contracts. Now, I haven't discussed this, that they have hidden contracts in their hands as well. So when you shake someone's hand, you may be coming into some agreement that you're not aware of. And all of these are games that they play here. And you have to play out those contracts that you either willingly signed or unwillingly signed. So with this realm that I went into, I was at an airport, and Trump and Biden was there. And there was a lot of people out there, there to greet him. It's another realm. So as I'm there to observe what's going on. And I noticed that I was drawn to these two black ladies that was there. And Trump is bold. He's just as bold here as he is on the other side. There's no difference. And for his attitude and how he conducts business, he's the same there. So something fall out of my pocket, and I did notice. He picked it up and looked into it. Trump is bold, and he saw this card in my wallet, and it had a flag. Now, without him even taking the card out and seeing what it was, he assumed that it was some sort of governmental card, some sort of governmental assistant card. And so he said, "Do you not know that these government assistants are traps?" And I told him, yeah. I said, sure, I know. I said, all government assistance programs are traps. It's all a trap. It's all, even what you do and what Biden is doing, it's all traps. It's all manipulated from a higher advantage. And he smiled and shook my hand and started laughing, with respect, acknowledging that, yeah, it's all a trap. It's all been a trap, since all of this stuff has been unfolding with the government. And so these two black ladies, they see me and Trump interacting with each other, not knowing the full extent of the conversation that we had. So they assume that me and Trump are buddies. And yes, I have met Trump. And if you want to go into that later with the Space Force stuff, then yeah, I'll be willing to talk to you guys about that. But to get back to the story, so Trump go back over to his podium, and Biden is talking, and the two ladies, I telepathically picked up on their animosity towards me, and having a laugh with Trump. And the one thing I like about Trump will tell you in so many ways, and he does that here, what's going on. And if you do not pick up on this type of stuff, it will just go over your head. Mm-hmm. And mankind really needs to wake up and see it for what it is. It's all traps. Everything we do here has been laid out for us to fall in. from the beginning. So I go over to these two black ladies, and and I'm taller than them. They're short, and I already sense this animosity. So I want to be at eye level to them. I don't want them to feel like, this big black guy is coming over to them, and I may have some harsh words with them. So I get down on one knee, and they just a little bit taller than me at this point, and which is fine with me. I don't want them to have the fight to be right. So she said that I see how friendly you are with Trump, and she was like, Biden will be the better choice, and I told her no. I said, I'm not for either one of them. I like Trump. Now, look, here's the thing. You don't get to the position that you are at in a presidential arena without have done some bad things. Now, we are looking at the less of two evils right here. Trump will be the better choice for humanity. I would rather Trump be president and go through these series of events that will unfold with him. If Biden continues, Biden wants the AI system implemented. You do not want to go on that timeline. You definitely do not want to go on that timeline. It's already manifesting now.
Mm-hmm.
It's manifesting right now.
Right. I mean, right. We definitely see that. That's very apparent. But I like how you said it's the lesser of two evils. Like we're not trying to promote like Trump is some sort of savior. It's just a better option. But I still find this interesting that you experienced all this in the astral realm. So what happened with these ladies next? Then you described to them that really, neither side is the good side, but what happened after that?
Well, you're right. Neither side is the good side, but the timeline that is originally stated from source is that Trump be the president, and we supposed to go through these competing forces on an organic timeline. Biden is not the organic timeline. Biden is the AI system. That is not an organic timeline. This AI system wants to duplicate everybody. It wants to make a copy of you, wants to make a copy of me. And I had that with Elon Musk. And this was the astral realm. And if you want to, note that, and we can talk about that later. But we are supposed to have the positive and negative, but on a source timeline. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're always supposed to have the positive and the negative competing. This is how we learn. This is how we evolve as human beings. This is how we ascend into these upper realm, but on an organic timeline. The Biden timeline is never meant for us to ascend, period. We are supposed to be assimilated into these AI system where souls are being trapped. We cannot move.
Okay? It's for our enslavement. Right.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of it. Right.
Exactly. And that's the Biden timeline. This is China timeline. And there's other people within this arena that are already assimilated. Biden is just a drone. Okay. He's a drone. Just like all of these other power elites, and they are being manipulated from another realm. And it's not just the astral realm. There's other realms that these guys are being puppets for. There's many entities involved in feeding off of this matrix system. So,
you mentioned in one video the Hilton hotels being a meeting place for the astral realm, and I know Max Spears used to talk about that, but I've never heard really anyone get into it like he did, like you do. So maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, I miss Max. I only have one memory with Max. I still have a lot of memory that needs to be recovered. from Max. But look, before I get into the Hilton thing, let me share this connection with Max and James. Now, we are this wave of indigo children. Okay, and there's many types of indigo children. There are many, many types of indigo children. One of the most powerful waves of the indigo children was back in the hippie timeline. Now, when the hippie timeline came in, it turned everything upside down. These reptilians couldn't keep up with that type of energy. They were popping up and manifesting in like a huge, huge wave, and it disrupted this whole matrix system. They could not hold a lot of their negative energy because it came in as a force to uplift and do things, show human beings, show humanity to do it their way and do it peacefully. That was the whole hippie timeline. They couldn't handle that type of energy. So when they got slowly started weaving out the hippie timeline, our timeline came in, and unfortunately, just because of where they were born, they got snatched up pretty quick within these programs. Where I was born, I had a lot of help, but the dark still was pulling on me. So the whole connection of Max and James and me, and there's many others that probably have not came out. Some of them are probably already dead too, because they do things from behind the scene. Okay. But a lot of them became super soldiers. Okay. Now, when it comes to super soldiers and these projects, a lot of them got shipped off to the SSP. Okay. And some of them turned against the dark fleets and started working from the shadow with humanity. I was one of those guys that could have turned dark and would have been a force against humanity. Without that help that I had, it would have been very hard for humanity. So, we came in same birthday, same year, and a few hours apart from each other. And the elites, they knew about that. They knew it, and they tracked us. As soon we came down into Earth arena, we went through the net. There's a net around Earth. Doesn't matter what section you come in from, you are going to get tagged, and they are going to follow you. They're going to find out who the mother is, who the father is, and track that bloodline. This is bloodline. Okay. It's all bloodline. They deal with the blood. They need the blood to do a lot of things here. So that's the connection. And I'm still trying to, I need to get a regression done to, go a little bit deeper into it, but let's get back onto what you wanted with the Hilton Motel.
Right.
Okay. Now, yeah, the Hiltons are, they are really, really close with the SSP. Okay. Now they can go in a blink of an eye. They can walk into one room, and end up on the other side of the map. These are portal systems that they have, and they have them all around the planet. And they dug business are very close with the Nazis. They are extremely close. And so I don't know if you guys know anything about what is it, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a high-ranking SSRP, and he works for the Dark Fleet.
Right.
Let me give you guys one clue. I don't know. That time you guys saw Tom Cruise on the Oprah. Did you guys see him on Oprah?
Yeah.
And how he jumped in that on the couch.
Yeah.
What that meant, he was telling Oprah that jump chair that he went through from here to Mars, it was successful. Nobody got that. Nobody's talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that meant. He was telling Oprah, and Oprah it, as well know a lot of this stuff. Now, but I'm not going to go too deep into that because maybe we can talk about Oprah later.
Right.
Her involvement.
Yeah.
I do know the Tom Cruise connection. I've heard Daryl James and I think Johann Fritz even talk about it. But Daryl said that the base that he was stationed at, Tom Cruise would come and basically there is an adrenochrome harvesting facility below that base. And Tom Cruise was like, he would come and scope things out and see how things were going. And he's the head of the Church of Scientology and all that stuff. So I didn't know.
Scientology ties into all this as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They are another power elite system. You know, they do a lot of MK Ultra stuff there as well.
Yeah.
So when they conduct these meetings, you said that all the decisions are played out in that realm and somehow it affects this timeline. How does that exactly work?
Now, that has nothing to do with the Hiltons now.
Okay.
The Hiltons actually go to another planet.
Oh, okay. Well, you can keep telling us about that too. Like anything.
Yeah. Yeah. The Hiltons, they go to another planet and you will see a lot of actors show up. You know, you'll get actors that would you haven't seen in the public eye for a while, and they are living it up on the other planet. Beautiful planet. And they are surrounded by, they're not always bad, okay? They're not. But they go to these other planets, and just because of their ties here, they build hotels. They build the same things here, but they make it better there. Everything is better over there. And extraterrestrials walk freely amongst them, just like humans. Okay, there's no difference, and they don't judge each other over there. But all the bad shit goes on here because they see humans here as a slave, that we are not worthy of what they got going on out there, and that's bullshit. It's bullshit. They get to live it up out there.
Right.
This is why they wanted to deplete. They want this system here, but they wanted to deplete humans. This, like you said, this is a goose egg. Earth is a goose egg for these power leaks. They are adrenochrome harvesting. Your genetics are bartered with out there. They like the human form and they like the components that come with that. You know, there's a slave force out there as well on many planets. So they get to come here and take our genetics, create other species out there. It's just not the Greys that are doing this. It's just not the reptilians. But the reptilians are the drug dealers. We are the drug. Mm-hmm. They're selling us out there.
Yeah.
Wow. So what, do you know anything more about Tom Cruise's involvement with the SSP, or is that it?
No, that's it. I can lock on to and pull down a lot of information with the ability that I have. And I'd rather do it that way instead of going out there and actually being there, because they can see me. And a lot of times when you go to these bases, if you are not with these galactics, if, like when I go on missions with the Federation, the councils, and there's been many bases that I went there to inspect. And I've had military missions where I go there and I eliminate threats. So, but to actually step outside of what I'm supposed to do with the galactic councils, and there's many councils here. But if I step outside that and I do this on my own, they will follow me back here. They can do the same thing I can do remotely.
Wow. So yeah, I have a few things. Going back to the meetings that are held in this other realm, like how do those decisions actually directly impact this timeline? Or is it just the decision making and then the orders are sent over and then they carry out the orders here?
Exactly. Okay. So they hold these meetings in these other realms, and they set up traps, like I said, for people to fall in. So when they give an order to do, they'll put certain things within the news media and get us to follow these orders. What would be a good example?
COVID?
Say what now?
COVID, the whole pandemic. I mean, that's
you want to talk about that?
I mean,
can you talk about that? I can go into it. Well, but I don't know if they'll shut you down. They will shut me down.
Right.
Well, as long as we don't say the word for the jab.
I know a lot about that.
Well, I
can say jab, but I can't go into because they will shut you down, buddy. I'm telling you, they do not want me speaking of this because I know a little more about that. But yeah, COVID would be a prime example of creating a problem that they created and getting people to follow a false solution, and that would be the jab. Okay, right. They created all of that. And they get you. They need that fear. If they can manipulate you by fear, then they have done their job. But regardless of all of that, from a higher perspective, it was all seen and played out. The war has already been won.
Exactly.
The war has already been won. We are like, if you think of like throwing a pebble or a rock into water, it sends out a ripple. Okay. Now these ripples, that first ripple is already gotten to its destination. Now we're looking at the last ripple doing the same things. You can look at those ripples as like timelines. These are many timelines, and they are playing themselves out in a sequence together. Now, certain timelines come with certain things that come in between. Say, like, I can be a little bit different somewhere else, and I switch places with myself in timelines to save my damn self from getting shot. Damn, I lost my train of thought. What did you ask me in the beginning?
I don't even know that.
You're talking about, you're saying the war has already been won, but there's these timelines that still have to play out, even though overall the war has already been won.
It's already been won. And they know this because they can look a certain degree down the timeline. But when it comes to manipulating timelines, they have tried and tried. And with trying to manipulate timelines, when you go in and try to force something to happen that's already been infused with fate, they snap back. They snap back in a harsh way. And I've seen timelines where the Greys and the military back in the day have been doing this. When the military and for you generals that are watching, because I do have them watching as well. I don't want to, offend anybody that's watching, but you guys know back in the day that the Greys, the reptilians, they wanted their Pacific timeline played out. And when they were going back in time and forcing things to happen, that Mandela effect was happening. But a whole lot of things happening way before you guys even knew about the Mandela effect. There were subtle things that was going on that shattered timelines. It literally shattered. And I'm going to tell you about this story. And a lot of people are not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell it like it is, and I'm going to be honest about it. For 3 days, years ago, it's probably about 7 years ago, I was seeing these what looked like broken glass uh out in space. I don't know why at the time I was seeing this. Um, it just looked like broken glass. But on that third day, I met with this entity called Christ. Now, Christ is real. He is an energy. And when Christ came in, we were huge, man. Our energy signature were huge, and we were just walking over the earth. And he pointed to those timelines that had been shattered. And I knew exactly who shattered those timelines. The Greys, certain factions of the military that was going back and trying to manipulate timelines, for these timelines to play out for their best interests for these power elites. And I put all of these timelines back together and I looped them around each other. And now timelines are like almost think of them like DNA strands. They all connected to each other. They are all connected. And within those timelines, the same thing are playing out, but subtle things about these timelines are not the same. And that's okay because we can add things within these timelines, but everything is already laid out on an organic timeline way, the way source created them to be. And when you change something so dramatic and you do this over time, they will shatter. That is why you guys started seeing the Mandela effect. You started seeing like real things that have changed dramatically, and you noticed it. You're really not supposed to notice timeline changes because they're supposed to be real small, and you may have deja vu when these things happen. But when you see sudden things change, well, that was a lot of things. Mandela, a lot of people thought Mandela died. Yeah.
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 Thought Mandela died in prison in the 80s.
Yes.
A lot of people have specific memories of that. And then it turns out that's not what actually happened. Yeah.
Exactly. That's big. That's major. You're not supposed to notice timeline changes, whether they merge or not. You're not supposed to notice that stuff. That's when something dramatic changes. And when you do that, you disrupt the whole order of timelines, and they will have to pay for that. That's why they never get anything done. That is the reason why they cannot control Earth. Karma. You have to pay for that.
Right. Exactly. I want to talk about your involvement in some of these organizations, military operations programs. And you talked about one time, they have the ability to see down your timeline from birth. And so they can, you said the light and the dark kind of pulls on you, and you might be used for dark missions, and the light might be trying to use you for benevolent missions. But you also mentioned having these sleep paralysis and panic attacks as a teenager, and you didn't understand where the panic attacks were coming from. Now, this really resonated with me because your explanation for these random panic attacks made a lot of sense to me. And I'd appreciate it if you could share that with our audience and what you think is going on there.
Yeah. Your panic attacks, 9 times out of 10 are coming from a source. There's a reason why you're having these panic attacks. And it's because when you are in these programs, they wipe your mind. They don't want you seeing exactly what's going on. They want to be able to use you and put you back into your human society so you can conduct your organic mission here is to grow up and experience. Now that's good. But it does not mean that they are not using you for bad as well. It does not mean that these other forces are using you for good. They both wipe your mind until the one thing about the good forces, here, they know that when you are young, that you're not going to be able to handle what's going on. So they do. Your higher self tell them to make sure that this young kid does not remember this, so that when you put him back, he can, go on about his youthful life without any problems. Because if we did not do that, there would be a lot of suicides. There will be a lot of suicides. The human mind cannot handle that at that conscious level that we are at currently, right now. Even back then, when I was young, could not handle it. A lot of kids now, we know about this stuff, so we may be able to handle a little bit more now. Back then, young kids would have been killing themselves, seeing and going through a lot of these traumas. So the bad forces don't want you knowing about any of it, period, at any time. They want to be able to use you, abuse you, get what they need out of you, because they feed off of that type of fear as well. So when they are doing these bad things to you, they wipe your mind, and your body is going to remember all of it. Whether your conscious mind, awakened mind does not, your body is going through these memories of these traumas, and you'll start having these panic attacks because your subconscious is working with the body and is trying to remember. And over time, as you begin to, the best way to start, if you are ready to remember, is once you start having these panic attacks, and once you start getting the information that there's something behind them, start fighting to remember. As long as you are willing to remember, your higher self will start showing you things about what's going on. But it's going to take time for your higher self to be like, okay, I'm on board with you now. You're ready. So I'm going to start giving you what you need to remember.
Right. Your higher self. Your higher self's always giving you hints about who you are.
Yes.
And if you're paying attention. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I know people, and I've experienced panic attacks that just don't make any sense. And sometimes they're severe. I remember you said yours even hospitalized you.
Yes. I thought I was going to die.
Me too, on one occasion. And I think that it makes a lot of sense. So your body is reacting to, let's just say, a mission or something that you just did. It was very traumatic, but you were mind wiped. So you're just having a response to the trauma. It's a trauma response.
Exactly.
At the beginning, you mentioned something about Space Force, and can you elaborate on that? I'm just curious on what you were hinting at.
I can. Well, it's going to open up a can of worms. And as I said in my own video, that, Trump is watching too. Okay. Trump is a white hat, and Trump wear many hats. You have to. This is why in my videos, you'll see a black hat, you'll see a gray hat, and you'll see a white hat. It's because in this realm, in this existence, you have to wear many hats. You have to go into the dark. You have to go in between that gray area. You have to go there. You have to see from both sides. And then you have to go into the light. So the light is always going. The light is overall. It's over the middle and beneath. So the light is going to always shine where there's darkness. Always. And when you are a spiritual warrior, you're going to have to go there no matter what. And white hats, we know, sometimes they switch sides. They do. They have to go there, see it, and then bring that information back. A white hat, black hat, it's all light. The only time that it changes is when you go into the AI system. Okay? Because they want to trap the light always. They don't want you to experience. They want to control the human experience. The human soul is a battery. It's a battery for these archons. So if they can trap that and keep it the way it is, so that they can move up into these higher dimensions. The one thing I do want to say, the archons will never reach the realm that Source is in. Never will. You know, we know that the AI system is very unique. It's very fast moving, but it cannot touch the realm that Source is in. And they are trying so hard to get there by using our plasma. Our plasma hold all of our memories, hold all of our powers. It holds the codes to these upper realms. Without being able to access these upper realms, without our plasma, they can't reach it. And regardless whether they use our plasma or not, it's still.
So you're talking about the plasma that's extracted from our blood when we donate blood.
Exactly.
And we just covered that when we did our clone webinar. I was trying to figure out what happens to your blood when you give blood. There's plasma. There's facilities where you go willingly donate your plasma, and then what they do is they extract the plasma from your blood and then put that blood back into your body, which is disturbing. But so you're saying that they need that plasma for
other things.
Yeah, other things.
That right there, that little minute. They don't care about that, putting that plasma back in your body. They do that to satisfy us, to give us these little dumbed down doctor. It's not even a cure for anything. Yeah, but the plasma is very powerful, and they need that in order to access these upper realms. You're talking about that is the essence of your soul. Okay. The plasma, they can take that out of your body. A small portion of it is worth a mountain in gold. It's worth a mountain gold to these other extraterrestrials. The blood as well. So they need all of that stuff, but the archons are after the plasma. The archons need that to access these upper realms. It holds soul memory. It holds all of your extraterrestrial life memories, and all of those come with abilities. I'm talking about being able to fly, being able to use plasma, shooting plasma out of the eyes. These have a lot of power within the plasma. But that's what they want.
So, like superhero abilities, basically.
All of it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That makes a lot of sense. It really resonates because I'm trying to figure out like why they're extracting that plasma and what they're using it for. So they also use it in pharmaceuticals, which is really interesting. And that's documented. That's not some theory. They use the plasma to make pharmaceuticals, the drugs that we take.
Yes.
And then they were extracting the blood from HIV positive patients or people who are donating, and knowing that they had HIV and still using that plasma to make pharmaceuticals. And that's how we had the HIV epidemic that we did. But we never did get into the Space Force.
Okay. Yeah. Space Force. So how did Space Force stuff started? Now, Space Force, you can't just join. Anybody on the streets just can't join Space Force. Space Force know about you from birth. Space Force been around for a very long time. Before Trump even mentioned Space Force, it was already in existence. Mm-hmm. Just wasn't mainstream, just wasn't in the public eye, and it was controlled at that time by a lot of the Nazis. A lot of the Nazis were in control of Space Force. Now, Space Force have many branches, and they watch over humanity in certain ways, and they have certain projects. Some projects are good, some projects are not so good. So the thing with Trump want on his team the best of the best. Okay. If you have skills that they can use, then they want you. Okay. They already know about you. Okay. So they come to you. They pull you out of your conscience, and they do the same thing. They will wipe your mind as well. So I'm at Space Force, one of their headquarters, and I'm sitting down and I'm all excited. I know where I'm at, and I sit down and this girl, um, she's checking me in, and I know this girl. Um, she used to work at my gym, the gym that I go to, and when I'm looking at her, I didn't say anything, but I'm like, okay, what is she doing here? What is she doing here?
Are you talking about, is this astrally or in 3D? This right now, this story.
They work in both.
No, I'm telling you, I'm asking, were you at Space Force headquarters in this reality or in another?
Oh, this was this reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I'm sitting down, and she's checking me in, she's getting all the information. I'm looking at her and I'm like, okay, I know you. This is what I'm saying in my mind. I know you. And she is a reception at my gym. And so after we get checked in, boom, I'm back. They wiped my mind. And so I see her at the gym. I'm gonna tell you the whole thing. I see her at the gym and I don't say anything to her. I wanted to say something to her about it, but I didn't want to look weird. So, and she sees me and I'm looking at her and she's like, I can see the expression on her face. And she's like, it's like, oh, do he remember? Because I'm not supposed to remember. None of us, once we join Space Force, none of us are supposed to remember any of it. They want to use you, put you back into your lifestyle. All of them do it that way. I think there's some sort of cosmic law of interference, but as long as it does not intervene in our everyday life, they are able to do things, and they can break some sort of cosmic law with that type of intervention that they do with our lives. They do it all the time. And I think at some point, from a higher perspective, our higher selves allow it so that we get this knowledge, this all experience to our higher selves.
Right.
So let me go into this other part. So I see her at the gym and I never minded, So Space Force called me again. I'm at a military base. And things are not going good. Because at this point, my higher self is they want to wipe my mind and use me, but my higher self is like, no, I'm gonna snap you out of this, because if you join behind what they want to use you as, I'm gonna get that karma. And since I want to make this my last incarnation, I don't need any karma, because it's gonna hold me up. I have to pay that karma back. Whatever I do, whatever I allow them to let me do, that goes on me. I have to pay for some of that karma. If I go out there and harm someone, especially human beings, if you harm a human being, if you kill a human being, it carries the highest karma. I can go out there and kill extraterrestrials all day, and I'll get a minute amount of karma behind that. But for some reason, Source has it within this planet. You pay big for killing a human being. Now, I can't tell you why that is. But I know that because of the level that I'm at, I'd rather deal with the extraterrestrials than deal with a human down here. If they send me to eliminate somebody, then I'm gonna say no, because I hold my free will intact. So as I'm on this military base, I'm fighting with these soldiers. I'm fighting with their soldiers, Space Force soldiers, and I'm just tossing them around, and I'm having fun with doing that. I got a smile on my face as I'm doing this. It's not ego. It's just that I see them as like toys. not hurting them, but I'm tossing them around. And I'm at the second floor, and I go to this window, and they're trying to stop me. They're trying to capture me, and I jump out of this window. Now, when you have these abilities, you still are in the human body, and you still are going to get injuries when you're in the human form. Okay, because the body cannot sustain certain amount of injury, no matter what. So when I jump out of this window, very high window, my rib, as I land, my rib shoots through my stomach, and I break that rib, and it pokes through my stomach, and I notice that I'm bleeding. And by this time, I just give up. I give up, and so they get me down on the ground, and they handcuff me, and I meet back up with Trump, and Trump is he's very disappointed, very disappointed. I'm not going to go into the full conversation that we had, but and just like I said, I have to keep free will intact, and I cannot be used for no matter if it's doing some bad things in order to for good to come about. And I think that's what Trump wanted. He wanted some good skills up under. He have a lot of people that are willing to do that. I'm just not willing to do it.
So let me just rewind a little bit so we can help paint this picture. So in this reality, you went to Space Force headquarters and you applied, and you recognized the girl from your gym, and then after that, you had no memory. You don't remember what happened after that. Then you saw her at the gym, and she looked at you. You made eye contact, and she kind of gave you the impression like, "Oh shit, does he remember or not?" So then you said Space Force called you back. Whenever you say they called you back, and you were on this military base again, was this in another realm?
No.
So you mean no? Okay,
I don't break bones in human form over there. Okay. I don't break bones. It's only here. The physicality here limits you. When I'm on the other side, I have no limitations. I can do and please. I have like God-like abilities. So, you all have it.
So this is like a memory from like an alter or a clone body or your actual body. So
this was my actual body.
So you actually fought these guys in the military base and jumped out the window.
Yeah. Now the altar is always going to be there. Now certain things trigger altars. Altars are always going to be present to a certain degree. Whether they come full force to the front center is also questionable. Now, when you switch, when you make that absolute switch, you're going to know it because you get turned off. You don't remember anything. This altar is virtually taken over. So, but yeah, with the military, yeah, I was there full force. And the bone came through my stomach.
So is this might, hopefully it's not getting off topic too much, but there's a lot of theories that there's some sort of time travel aspect to Trump. I don't know if you know about, like, obviously his uncle was the guy that when Tesla died, he got his like papers and stuff. And then there's there's two books that were from, I think were like 1890s or 1900 that talk about basically the things that were happening during Trump's presidency and describe Trump. And there's even a picture of Barron Trump that looks exactly like him in the book and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people are like, is Trump a time traveler? Is he just like viewing the past and the future somehow? What's your opinion on all of that?
Yeah, Trump is just like us. Now, we all, only a small portion of our soul reside in this realm of reality. We operate on a multidimensional level as well, but for the most part, Trump only has a small part of himself here to operate here. He's operating from a whole nother realm of reality.
Mm-hmm.
And they work together. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Trump has all of that stuff. he has it. He has a lot of information that he's not talking about. He do want this information out. But before we can even, if Trump start putting stuff out, they're only the media, the news media is going to shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to clean up a lot of the mess that they have created, and they still have it. A lot of these news anchors that you see here within the media, a lot of them are not even they're drones.
Oh
And
yeah.
a lot of the stuff you would never meet them in. A lot of them you would never meet in, because they also broadcast and conduct business on a huge craft. Okay, it's bullshit. What you guys see, they have a craft that they do these their AI. Now you will see some of these guys here, and meet some of these guys, but a lot of the news media, you will never see them in person. You will never see them because they just don't exist. They don't exist. They're AI generated.
Yeah, it's all a show. It's all a show, which goes along. We did a whole webinar on that just recently, actually.
Right. I mean,
I need to check that out.
Yeah, we kind of broke down the science, the technology behind it, how they're pulling it off. And like most of the people we see on TV, or not most of them, maybe most of them, are completely AI generated with the deepfake technology.
You got it.
Yeah.
CGI sometimes. But then there's also physical masks that people like. There's different people wearing different Biden masks. It's not actually Biden, you know. There's green screen being used. There's
holograms, clones.
Holograms.
So let me ask you guys. And then I'll go into what do you think those Biden who do you think is under those masks?
I've heard Jim Carrey. I don't know. It could any body double.
CIA agents. It could be anybody. Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are going to be reptilians.
And that makes a lot of sense.
The reason why is because of the frequencies that are coming in here. Their technology can't keep up with the frequencies that Earth is being hit with. It can't keep up. So you'll see that they can't hold their shape-shifting abilities anymore, because one is because of the frequency. Two is because we have been knocking out a lot of their operations of adrenochrome. Now, they don't have the access that they once did have to get this adrenochrome to sustain their human form. They needed the blood. They needed the trauma. A lot of that stuff, the Galactic Federation, these council members have been working side by side with these other powerhouses that are working for the positive. You got factions of Space Force. You got Earth Alliance. You got a lot of help here. You got a lot of help here, and a lot of these police helicopters, especially in California, had reptilians in them, and they would hit people with these. What is this frequency weapon that what do they call that frequency weapon?
The direct energy weapon, or the voice of God?
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
They would hit a lot of people with that weapon, but now they've been blocked. There are small craft flying around you all the time. You cannot see these craft with your eyes. So they'll go and stop that reptilian activity. They fly all the time. They would check out. If you fly a damn kite, they're gonna check it out. They are not playing. These guys are not playing. They mean business. And with these treaties, before the Pentagon got their orders to start allowing whistleblowers to talk. I knew about the treaties before the Pentagon signed these treaties. They had no choice. It's either they sign these treaties and allow guys like you and me speak without us being harmed or killed, like Phil Snyder. None of that shit is going to be going on anymore, because they are here full force and they are helping. So, and with these treaties being signed, if any of these elite people go after us, then they're going to come in and shut them down. They're going to start showing up full force, and the Pentagon knows about it. So
yeah,
That's really interesting.
That is interesting.
And it makes a lot of sense. Uh, so you're saying your fly kite, like they're going to check it out
they're going to check it out
just because, just to make sure it's nothing nefarious, essentially.
Exactly.
So we're filming a documentary right now, and it's on these Native American mounds. And just last night, I went to get some drone footage, and I met this guy there, and he was piloting his drone, circled the mound. And when he went to fly over the mound, something took over his drone and literally steered it out of the way. And it showed up for a high wind warning on his screen, but there was zero wind at all. Zero wind, and he was trying to fly over this mound that really not many people know about. And he's like, what the hell? He's like something took over. He said it felt like it was like hydroplaning, but in the air. And basically he was forced to bring it back and land it because that warning wouldn't go away. And right after we landed it, this is no joke, and I have it on film too, a helicopter came. It just looked like one of those tour guide helicopters. It wasn't a military helicopter, but it came like within 10 minutes after us landing it, and it came and flew directly over the mound, like directly.
And a point, that mound is in the middle of nowhere in Illinois too.
Yeah,
it's not like
it's in cornfields.
It's in the middle of nowhere. So a helicopter right over it. Come on.
And the curious thing is that I filmed it, and all three of us that were there couldn't hear the helicopter. We could not hear it, but
no sound.
We all watched it go over and that's a perfect example of them monitoring. Who knows what caused that drone to, maybe there was the energy coming out of the top of that mound, because it is a technology that the drone just read as a high wind and it kind of diverted around it. I don't know. Either way, it's just an example of kind of what you were talking about. That's why I asked about the kite thing, because anytime somebody sends something up in the air, I'm sure they're on it.
They're on it. There's a lot of help here. They are making sure that here's the thing. We have to do our part as well. By me saying this, I don't want humanity to feel like because these galactic councils are here, that humans don't have to do anything. On a human level, we have to do our part. We have to. And the first thing that we have to start doing is not giving our free will away. We have to start taking back the power, because we created them. We created them. Look, they built a prison system. Well, we built it. They made us think that we needed this type of society, this caste system, from rich, middle class, and poor. That is the Orion caste system. That is the Draco caste system. They live in a caste system. That's how they treat their people. But I can't tell you this. I know I give the reptilians a lot of hell. The reptilians take care of their own. Like I said, this is the only planet where you will see homeless. Now, the reptilians, if you do not follow order, they will have you working beside human slave force. They will do that. If you do not follow their orders, you will be in the mines with humans and eating what humans eat. So
interesting. I never heard that or thought of that. So it's like their punishment, essentially.
They will punish you. Exactly. And a lot of times they rather just go ahead and do away with you. Mm-hmm. They will kill their own.
You mentioned earlier about a contract being made just by shaking someone's hand. And
be extremely careful with that.
And the same thing is true for intercourse with somebody as well. And Max Spears used to talk about this. And they're able to not only, I guess it could be some sort of a contract, but they're able to transfer data and information that way as well.
You're creating an energetic connection every time you have intercourse. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's believable. Yeah.
Right.
I don't have that part of the information. But yeah, man, that stuff is possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, so basically, but everything you were talking about these contracts and these money magic, and basically everything is black magic. Like it's an entire black magic system
over this world. When you're dealing with the government, that's why I'm saying, when you consent for governmental structure to rule over you, then you get what you get. You understand? That's how the game is played. This is a game. The reptilians see it as a game. They know that at some point a while ago they were supposed to hand over power. They were just supposed to hand it over, and they don't want to hand it over. Here's what's going on. Okay, now the Dracos for the longest time was giving out orders. Now they created human hybrid reptilians because they can't be in this frequency for a long time. They have to be on their ship that can vibrate at their lower conscious frequency. They can't be here. The frequency is just too high. They can be here for a small amount of time, but they can create hybrids that can vibe with this frequency. They can adjust as we go into these higher frequency. They can adjust, but they still have minute control over their shape shifting abilities. But here's the thing. Now, with these Illuminatis, they no longer want to take orders from Daddy Draco. They like, okay, now that we have this stuff running the way that they want to, why not stay in control of the music industry? Why not stay in control of Hollywood? Why not? So the Dracos are pissed off. The Dracos are pissed at that, and they wanted to knock down a whole lot of human society to control better. And what they was going to do is eliminate a huge population worldwide and
90,
have only a certain amount of people here.
90%, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that didn't happen because of the federations that are here. You cannot do that. You cannot go against organic timelines. You cannot do that. You cannot violate.
Well, they try.
They really did.
They try.
What happened to the Georgia Guidestones shortly after that?
Right, they were destroyed.
They were destroyed.
The White Hats sent a message. The Galactic Federation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's definitely what that looked like to me. Was a message was being sent.
Oh yeah, and we're still here. But a lot of people had to die in order for humanity to see what was going on from behind the scenes. And there was a lot of doctors that was coming out, and they were shutting their channels down. These doctors were stepping into their full mission here, and they were shutting them down quickly.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to shut down on all levels. I mean, they're scared. They're backed into a corner, and that's all they can do is try to silence us. But it's like whack-a-mole. They might shut some person down, but then 5 more people pop up. And,
exactly.
And just like this Sound of Freedom movie right now, it's creating waves. It's activating people on levels that I never imagined to expose this, child trafficking and stuff. And
the media's
trying to put a lid on it, but it's impossible. Yeah. And the reason I went and seen it is because I saw the media reviews and how they were slandering it, trying to say it's a QAnon conspiracy theory, and literally
based
making
on bogus statistics and all this stuff.
Literally making fun of the audience. Like one of the articles was making fun of the audience that was going to see it. Like, I'm like, okay, I have to see this movie now. But what it did by them, like I said, playing whack-a-mole, they think they're putting a lid on it, but really they're just creating an entire movement now.
Exactly. Hey guys, before we finish this, my team wants me to tell you about your connection. You two aren't brothers, are you?
Well, no. not in this lifetime.
Not in this life, at least. Yeah, well, maybe in past lives.
Well, I do want to talk to you guys about that before you leave, and that's going to be my little thing for you guys before I leave. I'm going to tell you about your connection.
Okay.
Sure. They're not going to let me leave without telling you, so I'm going to tell you guys your connection. But what I do want to say, since we was talking about helicopters, now I want to talk about the Dog Man. I want to talk about the Dog Man and this military mission that I went on. Um, Now, you guys know that the military, and if I forget, also my best friend that works for the Navy, I too work for the Navy, but I'm not an officer. I do things for the Navy. They watch my back, I watch their back. But I have a best friend that is an officer, and after I get done with the dogman conversation, help me, let me bring that up. Don't let me forget that, because I want to
Okay.
give that to you guys. So with this, I was called to go on a mission. That they're, like I said, they can see down the timelines, and they see things before it's going to happen. And we also too, this is the military now, has nothing to do with, the Galactics, but we get messages too from the Galactics to act upon things within the military. This is human military. So I get picked up in a black chopper. Now these choppers, the unique thing about these choppers, man, is that they shapeshift. They can morph. They are enhanced beyond what you guys can ever imagine. I know you guys know about these helicopters. You probably
Mhm.
heard things about it,
Oh yeah.
but to be in one and see it in action is another thing. So we get word that something is going to happen in Spain, and normally we don't intervene. But when there is if it's not on a human level, if we get a where a creature is not supposed to be, same thing with Bigfoot. I linked with Bigfoot. But if we get word that these creatures are going to pop up and they are going to cause some sort of chaos, then there are a special unit in the military that handles certain situations. So I get called to do that mission, and sometimes I like to work alone. It's just what I do. But I do work with a team, and I, I'm happy for that. So we go to Spain, and we're there just like that in that chopper. Once it shapeshift, we pop into a Spain. So I'm at a graveyard, and I'm at a graveyard, and my job is to protect this family that will be showing up shortly after I get there. I'm at a graveyard, and I'm watching. There are some bushes, and there's grave sites. So I see this family coming across the street. Um, and there's like, um, let's see, there was a grandfather, uh, two teenagers, and I think two smaller children. So they get to the graveyard and they're grieving over these children parents. The grandfather is taking care of these his grandkids. I guess his daughter died, and that's why they was there grieving. So I'm watching them, and my altar. I wouldn't even consider this my altar. This was me, but I'm enhanced a little bit. Okay, I'm enhanced. So I silently knew that there was going to be a creature coming up, and I spot this creature. Now this creature was considered to be a dog man, but it had more human features as well. So it comes around this brick walkway, and I'm watching this creature, and I'm alert, and I'm seeing this family. This family don't even see what I see, and as I'm watching it, it's moving slow. And this guy, I don't know if he was infected or what. I'm gonna call it an infection. His teeth are protruding out of his mouth. His eyes are bloodshot red, and around his eye, they're yellow. And his hair is all curly. It's like he's in between transformations. I don't know if he can fully form a werewolf, or was he infected. So he sees his family, and he sees them grieving, and they feed off that energy. They want that. So I go over to the family, and but by this time they spotted me and this creature. So at this point, there's no need for them to run. There's no point. So I tell this family to stay behind me. If they're behind me, I can watch them closely. This creature, as it approaches me, it fears nothing. It don't care about me. It doesn't care. But it has its eyes on the smallest child. By this time, these two teenagers, they freak out. They freak out and they make their way out. So, and the grandfather and the other kids now are behind me. So this creature is walking and his claws are out. You know what I'm saying? They're like extended. His teeth are protruding out of his mouth. Saliva is pouring off of his jaws, and his eyes, he don't even see me. He's watching this small little girl. But before he can act, I switch off. Boom, like that. I switch off. And I know that I killed that creature. Just like that. My higher self was not gonna allow me to stay at that level. I needed to make that switch in order to handle that. And so that's what I did.
Yeah, I was going to say, James Caspel used to talk about the dogmen in the military and how they were engineered and in some cases into super soldiers, and they were sent on missions. But it doesn't surprise me that they would release some like that, which you encountered as well, for whatever reason as well.
Yeah. And yeah, man, that was crazy. I had no fear. I had no fear of this creature whatsoever. It's like I knew what needed to be done.
Right. So you mentioned something about the Navy officer.
Oh yeah. My best friend who's in the Navy. Now I won't give his name. But so I haven't seen my best friend in a long time. We grew up, in the projects. Parents were poor back then. Now my best friend, he's mixed. He's Indian and Mexican. My best friend is his mother is full-blooded Indian. His father, which he never met, is Mexican. We grew up. I met both of his grandparents, full-blooded Indian, man. Very good people. They had some stories for us about a lot of things when we were kids, witches and all that stuff. But we grew up, in the projects, best friends. We're still best friends now, but he's in the Navy. Now I don't get to see him hardly at all, man. But we knew as kids that we were going to be doing something special. Like I didn't know to this extent, and I'm pretty sure he did know he was going to be doing what he does in the Navy. So he wanted to see me. Now I'm going to tell you guys about the Tic Tac. I'm going to tell you what the Tic Tac is. Now, there are several military forces that use the Tic Tac. Do not think that is what they're putting out in the media is not what that is. We have that. It is, we transport people. We transport soldiers. We transport small things within that Tic Tac, like supplies. And the Navy has a huge vessel. It's a docking station right outside our atmosphere. You're not going to be able to see this with the naked eye. It is has cloaking technology on it, but it's not that far. It's not that far. And what happens is this docking station is for when we have new visitors that come here and have business with this planet. 9 times out of 10, they have to check in. And we do get those that do pass by without checking in, but they supposed to check in at that docking station they're supposed to check in, and we have many docking stations around the planet, not just Navy, but that is a huge Navy vessel. So the Tic Tac take me from Earth to the docking station. My best friend wanted to see me. So I get there. And when I get in there, man, it's crowded as fuck in there, man. And you're talking about all types of extraterrestrials wearing all types of uniform, and they have business. And think of a huge mall, and this mall is crowded, and we all bumping into each other. We're all bumping shoulder to shoulder, trying to get to where we need to get to. And I needed to use the bathroom, and I did finally get to use the bathroom. And after I use the bathroom, I go to my best friend quarters, which is his room. A lot of people don't know what quarters is, but in the military term, when you want a vessel, the room is called quarters. So I get there, and and I've probably been up there for like a week, and he's up there with his girlfriend, and my wife, she's back here, and I'm bored as hell up there. I'm bored. So, and I tell him that, and next thing I know, I'm back here, just like that. Time spent with him over, but I know I was up there a week.
So did you physically miss like a week of time here, or did it all happen in an instant here?
Here's the funny thing about space. Time does not exist up there. You can be up there depending on how far you're away from Earth, will determine how long you've been gone. And they have that system mapped out. So a lot of times when people go up there in space, if you're not too far from Earth, then you can only be, you could be up there for like a week, but when you get back here, it's only been like, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, has passed. It all depends on how far you go.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because it's space time. It's all one thing. So traveling through space is also traveling through time because it's all one thing. Yeah.
Exactly. But they have that time. I don't think that they use any time. They didn't use technology to get me back and to make it seem like I was only gone for a while. And this happened at night, and I was off that night, so I went up there. They know all this stuff, man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think way more people are going on missions like that than they realize, and they just don't have memories of it. But as you shift your frequency, and as these frequencies, I guess they're merging, as they get closer to each other, you're going to have more conscious memories, and you're going to start realizing that we have a lot more missing time. You could use that term than most people ever can comprehend. I mean, you can probably blink out and be back in an instant and have done a mission.
Yes.
And some people now, like yourself, are beginning to remember it. I know a few people now that are consciously remembering doing things, including myself on a recent trip I was on. It was described that this would typically have been a missing time scenario, but because we're shifting, I was allowed to remember this specific event.
Exactly.
And I think it might sound unbelievable to people listening that you're doing some of this stuff, but I think we have to step into a new understanding of reality and what's actually taking place here, because the reality that they've handed us is an illusion. It's not reality.
It's lies. It's all lies.
It's even a false reality. Right. It's all lies. Exactly.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, I guess let Aaron and I know how we're connected.
Yeah.
And then we'll go.
They're not going to let me leave until I tell you guys. And I saw it anyway. I don't, as a remote viewer, I don't pry into anybody's lives. I can look at your energetic field, and it will give me feedback on certain information that is tied to you guys. And I can do that with anybody. But you guys, your extraterrestrials, you guys, I saw you look more, what's your name?
Tyler? Aaron,
you look damn near the same in your extraterrestrial form as you do now. Your face, man, is
really
damn near the same, man. your skin is it's not transparent, but it's very light blue, very light blue. So is you Tyler. You guys are family. You consider family, and you were always supposed to step in to your mission. I don't know how you guys met since you're not family here, but you was always supposed to meet. This is your mission. And what I can say about that, you two, Tyler, you look the same, but for some reason they're not letting me see more of your face. But you guys are working very close on the ship. You guys have a ship. You have family within that ship. And I see you guys very closely working together. Now, your hands you don't have fingers. You guys, your hands are more like dolphin.
Oh.
I don't know why it's like that, but I do know that there's a dolphin race, but I don't think that you're a dolphin. You may have maybe some genetics. So they tinker with this stuff all the time out there. It's normal. It's not bad to tinker with genetics out there. It's something that they do. But here's what I do want to say too, as well. You guys are going to go through and have already been through subtle disputes within yourselves. Now, you guys, all humans have attachments, whether they know it or not. You're going to have attachments. These attachments can be sent to you. They can be implanted. But they some of these attachments have missions, and that's to bring down and disrupt your mission. Do not allow this to happen. Mm-hmm. This is what they want me to talk to you guys about. This is always going to be your mission. You guys are family. Extraterrestrial life. You have family. You still have family there. Mm-hmm. Okay. You guys live a very long time. Your breed lives a very long time. So, and you only a small part that's here. You still there, still conducting a small part of your conscience. You guys are very powerful beings, but like I said, if they bring down your energetic field and also they want me to tell you to eat raw vegetables and fruit because it vibrates the body in a high frequency. That's one thing. Two, do as much as you can. You're doing the work now. You're doing the work now by informing the public in so many ways with all the guests that you do have. So you're doing your soul work. You're doing your soul mission, and that too is going to bring up your vibrational frequency. But do not. Here's the most important thing. Do not let them separate you guys. You guys are family, like family in this extraterrestrial form that you guys are in.
Right. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man.
And
I feel that too. That resonates.
Everything except for the dolphin hands. I got a feeling of that one.
Well, Tyler, you swam with dolphins in Hawaii.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Years back.
That's pretty cool.
I think a few years back, there was something that tried to come between Aaron and I, and I knew right off the bat that I knew that's what it was. And I even told you, Aaron, I was like, I feel like this is something trying to separate us. And
yeah, I remember that.
And we just outright had the conversation right there. And Aaron's like, well, we're not going to let that happen. So we just we immediately saw it for what it was, and it lost all its power. So,
well, this is your family talking to me on the other side. Right. They communicate with my higher self. Your family do not want you guys splitting up whatsoever.
Right.
Okay. Whatever you guys doing, you guys are going to have a subtle disputes and differences. That's great. That's great. You're supposed to, but do not let them separate you guys. You guys are way closer than what you think.
No, I believe that. I feel it for sure.
I feel that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for coming on today and sharing everything with us. Can you please let our audience know where they can find you?
Well, it's going to be hard for them to, if they search for me, they cover my channel up. But you guys, if you can leave a link, that would be great.
We will. I just want you to tell people the name of your channel so they can.
Raw Cloud, Law of One. It's going to be Raw Cloud, Law of One. You can search. If you do find that, then you are meant to be a part of the channel. Now, they will stop you guys. They will shut you down. Uh, they will unsubscribe you. This is because they do it to me. Even before I came out from behind the scenes, before the military asked me, before my Galactic family asked me to speak, they knew that this was going to happen. Okay, and that's a part of the game. It comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
But these treaties protect us from harm, bodily harm. So
Right.
you can search for me at Raw Cloud Law of One.
Yeah, that's RA Cloud Law of One on YouTube, but we'll put that link below. And it's he's not lying. They do try to interfere. Just even connecting with him, they were deleting my YouTube comments as soon as I could even comment. They would be gone. I finally just like flooded your feed with comments to try and get your attention. But then you had an interesting experience trying to email us, didn't you? Or did he freeze? I think he froze.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, that's the AI system.
Yeah, you froze. You froze on us.
This is
At least we made it through the interview.
AI system.
right. At least it's at the end.
Anyway, I was just telling them how you had interference trying to email us. They said that our email doesn't exist or something.
Yes. You did.
Yeah.
They want to sever the connection. It's all about connection in this realm. They don't want people connecting with each other. They don't want unification. Unification brings, freedom.
Right.
So
Right. It's powerful. That's why they don't want that to happen. It's a threat.
Yeah. They didn't see me coming. I was supposed to be gone twice now.
Right.
They tried to get me twice.
Really?
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, we're glad you're still here. Keep going, man. You're doing amazing work. Seriously.
I appreciate that.
Keep it up.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. This was awesome. I loved everything we covered. I really appreciate the work you're doing. Guys, go subscribe to his channel. And if they unsubscribe you, resubscribe. He's on point. Your videos are fascinating. So thanks again. And thank you guys for joining us. We love you. And until next time, have a great evening and we'll see you later.
All right. I salute you guys.